Did you know once upon a time a tiny spider may have saved the life of Jesus? This isn't just a bedtime tale. It's one of the oldest animal legends in Christian tradition. And today on BeastList, we explore the full story, the spider's real-life powers, and what makes this legend so unforgettable. Over 2,000 years ago, a prophecy reached King Herod. A newborn child had been born in Bethlehem, a child who would grow up to become king. Terrified of losing his throne, Herod ordered the death of every baby boy under 2 years old. This brutal act is known in history as the Massacre of the Innocents. But an angel warned Joseph in a dream, "Take the child and flee." That same night, Joseph and Mary escaped with baby Jesus. They left Bethlehem and traveled south toward Egypt. The journey was long and dangerous. They were poor. They had no protection. And soldiers were searching everywhere. They traveled through rocky terrain, across the desert, and through forests. They crossed villages and valleys, avoiding roads to stay hidden. At times, they had to sleep in caves or behind trees to stay alive. Every sound could be a soldier. Every night could be their last. One night, they came upon a dark cave. They were exhausted. They needed rest. They went inside and hoped no one would find them. But nearby, Herod's soldiers were still searching. They were close, very close. Inside the cave, a small spider watched the family enter. And then, quietly, it began to spin a web. Strand by strand, it stretched the silk across the cave's entrance. By the time the soldiers arrived, the web was complete, perfect, untouched. The soldiers stopped at the cave. They looked at the entrance, and they saw the spider web. One said, "There's no way anyone went inside. If they had, the web would be broken." So the soldiers walked away. They never entered, and the family was safe. According to this ancient story, that small spider saved Jesus. It became a protector, a symbol of nature's quiet power. And that's not the only time a spider appears in a holy legend. In Islamic tradition, a very similar story is told about the Prophet Muhammad. He was hiding from his enemies in a cave, and again a spider spun a web across the entrance. His pursuers saw the web and assumed no one was inside. They passed by. The Prophet was saved. In Jewish tradition, King David also hid in a cave while fleeing from King Saul. And once more, a spider built a web that tricked the soldiers. Different faiths, same animal, same miracle. Over time, the spider has become a symbol of quiet strength, protection, and divine timing. Some early Christian cultures even used spider ornaments on Christmas trees. They believed it was a sign of blessing and protection for families. But real spiders, they're just as impressive. Spider silk is one of the strongest materials in the natural world. By weight, it's stronger than steel. Some spiders build webs that stretch across rivers. The Darwin's bark spider, for example, can make a web up to 80 feet wide. Jumping spiders have some of the best vision of any insect. They can see in full color. They can recognize prey and track movement with precision. Other spiders use ballooning to fly through the air. They release silk and float through the wind like tiny paratroopers. They've been found hundreds of miles away from land. The ogre-faced spider hangs upside down and uses its web like a net. It throws it over insects midair. Nature gave spiders creativity, patience, and power, all in silence. Now back to the cave. Was the story real? No one knows for sure. It's not in the Bible, but it has lived for centuries in churches, songs, and stories passed down by families. Whether legend or truth, it carries a message. Even the smallest creature can make the biggest difference. Protection doesn't always come from strength. Sometimes it comes from presence, from being where you're needed most. So the next time you see a spider, remember this. It might just be a silent guardian, a miracle maker, or a reminder that small things matter. Thanks for watching BeastList. If you enjoyed this story, give us a like and subscribe. And tell us in the comments what animal legends should we explore next.